When you think about processed meats like deli slices, bacon, sausages, and hot dogs, it's easy to remember the flavor and convenience. These foods have been part of many family traditions and everyday meals. But what they deliver in taste, they often steal back in long-term health, particularly as we age. Processed meats are defined by how they are preserved using methods like salting, curing, smoking, and adding chemical preservatives to extend shelf life and intensify flavor. This process can fill each bite with compounds that quietly chip away at your health over time. For seniors, whose bodies are more vulnerable to inflammation and chronic disease, processed meats carry risks that are simply too important to ignore. One of the most concerning aspects of processed meats is their extremely high sodium content. Sodium acts as a preservative, but it can also drive your blood pressure steadily upward. Many seniors already face age-related stiffening of the arteries and excessive salt compounds that strain on the cardiovascular system. A diet high in sodium increases fluid retention, making the heart work harder to circulate blood. Over years, this extra burden can heighten the risk of hypertension, heart attacks, and strokes as if you're eating these meats regularly, sometimes even daily, without realizing just how much salt you're taking in. Another critical issue lies in nitrates and nitrites compounds added to processed meats to keep them looking pink and fresh. While these chemicals serve an industrial purpose, they don't belong in a diet meant to nourish a body through its later decades. When nitrates are cooked at high temperatures, they convert to nitrosamines, substances linked to certain cancers of the digestive tract. For seniors whose bodies have less efficient cellular repair mechanisms, constant exposure to these compounds increases the potential for long-term damage. This is not to create fear, but to empower you with clear information. Processed meats have been consistently tied to higher rates of colorectal cancer in numerous studies, making them one of the first categories health experts recommend limiting. It's also important to recognize how these meats impact inflammation, a subtle internal process that can become chronic over time. Seniors often deal with arthritis, joint pain, or other inflammatory conditions. The saturated fat and preservatives in processed meats can trigger or worsen these states, contributing to aches, swelling, and fatigue that make daily life harder. While inflammation is a natural immune response, a steady intake of pro-inflammatory foods can turn it into an ongoing burden. Reducing processed meats is a step toward calming this internal fire, making room for more nourishing foods that help your body repair rather than react. Another layer to consider is how processed meats can crowd out healthier sources of protein. It's easy to grab a packaged turkey slice or a quick hot dog, but these choices often replace meals that could have been filled with lean poultry, fish, legumes, or eggs. Over time, the nutrient gap grows. Your body depends on essential amino acids to maintain muscle, especially after 60 when natural muscle loss accelerates. Processed meats deliver protein, but in a package so high in additives and unhealthy fats that the trade-off rarely benefits your long-term strength. Seniors who prioritize cleaner protein sources often find they have more energy, better digestion, and fewer inflammatory flares. Beyond the nutrition facts, there's also the everyday reality of habit. If processed meats have been part of your meals for years, it may feel almost unthinkable to replace them. But change doesn't require all-or-nothing thinking. Start by noticing how often you rely on them. Swap in fresh chicken or turkey you prepare yourself. Or try beans and lentils for a plant-based source of protein that doesn't come with hidden chemicals. Simple swaps practiced over time can lower your risk of disease and improve how you feel each day, meal by meal. For seniors committed to living with vitality and purpose, awareness is the first step. Understanding what processed meats do inside your body doesn't mean giving up flavor or tradition. It means choosing options that respect the years ahead and honor the work your body does to keep you moving, thinking, and enjoying life. These are not empty warnings. They are invitations to consider that you deserve better fuel food that truly supports you, rather than chipping away at your well-being with each serving. And as you reflect on this, you might start to wonder what other simple changes could build a foundation of health even stronger than you imagined. You said, let's talk strictly about the topic. Red meat, especially fatty cuts like ribeye steaks, pork chops, and ground beef is something many of us grew up eating regularly. It's been a centerpiece of dinners and weekend barbecues for decades. But as we age, our bodies change, and so do our nutritional needs. While red meat is undeniably rich in protein and iron, it comes with a set of risks that become more significant with each passing year. For seniors in particular, fatty red meats pose challenges that go far beyond cholesterol. They directly impact heart health, joint inflammation, energy levels, and even longevity. One of the first issues with fatty red meat is saturated fat. It's no secret that saturated fats raise LDL cholesterol, commonly known as bad cholesterol. As cholesterol levels rise, arteries begin to narrow due to plaque buildup. This process, called atherosclerosis, reduces blood flow and can lead to heart attacks or strokes. For seniors, this isn't a distant, abstract risk, it's a daily reality. The older you get, the less resilient your cardiovascular system becomes. Every meal becomes an opportunity to either support or strain your heart. Fatty red meats, while flavorful, often fall into the category of foods that silently add pressure to a heart that's already working harder than it did decades ago. There's also the issue of oxidation. Fatty red meats can increase the body's oxidative stress, especially when cooked at high temperatures like grilling or pan-searing. When muscle meat is exposed to heat, it forms compounds called heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, both of which have been linked to cancer in various studies. Seniors, whose cells repair more slowly and who may have already accumulated years of exposure, are especially vulnerable. Even if the risk sounds small in any given meal, over time, repeated exposure matters. Oxidative stress doesn't just relate to cancer, it contributes to joint pain, cognitive decline, and immune system weakening, all of which seniors are already managing to some degree. Fatty red meat also tends to crowd the plate, leaving less room for fiber-rich foods. This imbalance affects digestion, gut health, and overall energy. Seniors often experience slower digestive function. High-fat meals can linger in the digestive system, leading to discomfort, bloating, and irregularity. Without sufficient fiber to move things along, digestion can become sluggish. And beyond digestion, the absence of vitamins and antioxidants, those found in colorful vegetables, legumes, and fruits, means the body misses key support for immune strength and cell repair. It's not just about avoiding something harmful. It's about recognizing what's not being included when a fatty steak fills most of the plate. The conversation also touches on inflammation, a word that shows up often in discussions of aging and health. Fatty red meat contributes to chronic, low-grade inflammation, especially when eaten regularly. This kind of inflammation doesn't announce itself with a fever or rash, it lingers under the surface. It may show up as morning stiffness, joint swelling, fatigue, or brain fog. Seniors with arthritis, cardiovascular disease, or diabetes may feel these effects more acutely. Reducing the intake of inflammatory foods like fatty red meats becomes a strategy not just for disease prevention, but for daily comfort and mobility. Finally, there's the emotional and mental component. Food is deeply personal. Giving up or reducing fatty red meats may feel like a sacrifice at first, but reframing it as a choice, one grounded in respect for your body's changing needs, can make the shift feel empowering instead of limiting. Many seniors report feeling lighter, more energized, and clearer-headed after reducing red meat. It's not just about what you take away, it's about what you gain. You begin to make space for foods that actively fuel your health rather than passively working against it. This topic isn't about fear, it's about clarity. It's about understanding how one common food choice plays a role in many of the health challenges older adults face. No one is asking you to abandon taste or tradition, but knowing what fatty red meat does to a senior body helps you make choices with full awareness, not habit. It helps you move from routine to intention. And now that we've laid out the why behind reconsidering this food, the question becomes, what should take its place? What proteins offer strength without the silent risks? That's where we're headed next. Let's talk strictly about the topic. When it comes to staying strong and independent after 60, protein isn't optional, it's essential. But not all protein sources are created equal. Lean poultry, particularly skinless chicken and turkey, breast stands out for a number of reasons that directly support senior health. These meats offer high-quality protein without the drawbacks found in fattier cuts or heavily processed options. Understanding why lean poultry matters isn't about following trends, it's about responding to the unique physical and metabolic changes that come with age. Muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia, begins around the age of 30 but accelerates dramatically after 60. This means that even everyday activities, like getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries, can start to feel harder over time. Lean poultry is rich in complete protein, containing all the essential amino acids the body needs to build and repair muscle. Unlike red meat, which can bring along excessive saturated fat, lean chicken or turkey offers protein in a clean, efficient form. This makes it ideal for older adults who want to maintain muscle without putting added strain on the heart or digestive system. Another reason lean poultry is particularly valuable is its low fat content, especially when skin is removed. This matters because fat digestion can become more taxing with age. Pancreatic enzyme production can slow down, and bioflow might not be as efficient as it once was. High-fat meals can linger in the stomach and cause bloating, discomfort, or sluggishness. Lean poultry sidesteps that issue. It provides the necessary building blocks for tissue maintenance and recovery, without burdening the digestive system in a way that saps energy or appetite. Let's also consider sodium. Seniors are often advised to watch their salt intake because of its connection to blood pressure and kidney function. Many protein sources like deli meats, sausages, or canned meat scum, heavily processed with salt and preservatives. Lean poultry, when cooked fresh and prepared simply, is naturally low in sodium. This makes it a heart-smart choice, especially for those dealing with hypertension, edema, or any cardiovascular concerns. the body benefits from the protein, while sidestepping the silent risks that come with processed alternatives. Lean poultry also plays a role in immunity. With age, the immune system can become less responsive. Chicken and turkey contain important nutrients like zinc, selenium, and B vitamins, which support immune health and energy production. These nutrients contribute to white blood cell function, cellular repair, and proper nerve function systems that work a little slower or less efficiently with age. Including lean poultry regularly in meals means the body gets sustained, usable energy, along with the tools it needs to fight off illness and heal more effectively. There's also the matter of palatability. Many seniors experience changes in taste, appetite, or dental sensitivity, which can affect what and how they eat. Lean poultry, when cooked properly, is tender, versatile, and easy to chew. Whether it's shredded into a soup, grilled into a sandwich, or added to a stir-fry, it adapts well to many textures and flavors. This makes it more likely to be eaten regularly, which is crucial because health benefits only come from consistency. A food can be nutrient-dense, but if it's hard to chew or enjoy, it won't become part of someone's daily pattern. And yet, the simplicity of lean poultry is often its greatest strength. It doesn't call attention to itself the way trendy health foods do, but it quietly supports everything seniors need more of: strength, endurance, and protection against illness. It's a humble food that does a lot of heavy lifting in the background, meal after meal. That's what makes it worth highlighting. As seniors focus on maintaining independence and physical vitality, lean poultry offers a direct route to those goals without added baggage. It's practical, accessible, and aligned with the physiological needs of aging bodies. Choosing skinless chicken or turkey isn't about eating bland or boring meals, it's about investing in a source of nourishment that works as hard as your body does to keep moving. So now that we've seen how this one protein source can quietly shape daily well-being, the question becomes what other foods offer these kinds of benefits without hidden trade-offs. Because as it turns out, nutrition after 60 isn't just about eating less or more, it's about eating smarter, and that's exactly where we're going next. Let's talk strictly about the topic. Among all the food choices available to seniors, fish, particularly fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, holds a unique place in supporting not just overall health, but more specifically, joint strength, brain clarity, and heart stability. The reason for this lies in their high content of omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, which play a direct role in addressing the silent, underlying issues that often accumulate with age, namely inflammation, vascular stiffness, and cognitive decline. Omega-3s south from fatty fish act as natural anti-inflammatories. That matters because aging bodies often deal with low-grade chronic inflammation, which doesn't always show up as pain but subtly erodes quality of life. This inflammation is linked to stiffer joints, slower healing, and even emotional instability. By incorporating fatty fish into the diet 2 to 3 times per week, seniors can essentially nourish their bodies with a food-based tool that helps manage this process gently, from within. Unlike medication, which often brings side effects, omega-3 south provide a therapeutic benefit that supports rather than disrupts the body's natural systems. But this isn't just about joints. The cardiovascular system, especially important in older adults, benefits immensely from regular fish consumption. Omega-3s south help maintain flexible arteries and reduce triglyceride levels, both of which are crucial for preventing strokes and heart attacks. Blood vessels, much like muscles, can stiffen with age. When arteries lose elasticity, blood pressure rises and circulation suffers. The compounds in fatty fish help the body retain vascular flexibility, improving oxygen delivery to the muscles and organs. This means better stamina, clearer thinking, and more stable energy throughout the day. Cognitive decline is another major concern. As we grow older, research has consistently shown that people who consume more omega-3s south, especially from fish, to experience slower cognitive aging. That means better memory retention, improved focus, and a reduced risk of dementia-related diseases. The brain is made largely of fat, and DHA in particular is a structural component of the brain's gray matter. Eating fatty fish supports the integrity of neurons and the fluidity of brain cell membranes. This translates into better communication between brain cells, which directly impacts clarity of thought and emotional regulation. It's also worth noting that fatty fish is high in protein, which is essential for maintaining muscle mass and functional strength in later years. Many seniors find themselves struggling with weakness or imbalance, not realizing that part of the issue stems from inadequate protein intake. Salmon, for instance, offers not only healthy fats but also high-quality, easily digestible protein that helps maintain the muscle needed for independence, like getting out of bed, walking without assistance, or carrying groceries. This protein is especially valuable because it comes packaged with healthful fats and critical nutrients, such as vitamin D and B12, which are often deficient in older adults. Another benefit of fatty fish is its impact on mood and emotional resilience. Seniors are often at higher risk for depression, sometimes due to isolation, loss of loved ones, or biological changes in brain chemistry. Omega-3s have been shown to support serotonin production and reduce symptoms of depression, making regular consumption of fatty fish a nutritional way to enhance emotional stability. When people feel more emotionally balanced, they are more likely to stay active, socialize, and care for themselves, creating a positive feedback loop that supports aging with dignity. From a practical standpoint, fatty fish is also relatively easy to prepare. It cooks quickly, pairs well with many herbs and vegetables, and doesn't require complex recipes to taste good. This matters because many older adults may experience fatigue or reduced motivation to cook elaborate meals. A simple salmon fillet baked with lemon and olive oil provides an elegant, satisfying, and deeply nourishing meal that meets the body's needs without added effort or complication. As we zero in on how to age with strength and clarity, the inclusion of fatty fish in the diet reveals itself not as a trend, but a foundation. It's not about miracle cures or restrictive rules. It's about leaning into what the body genuinely needs to function better on. In the case of fatty fish, it's clear those needs are well met. Now that we've explored what makes fatty fish a cornerstone of strength and longevity, the question remains what other everyday foods can offer this kind of silent, consistent support for aging bodies. There are still some overlooked options that deserve a closer look, and that's exactly what we'll uncover next. Let's talk strictly about the topic. Among the most misunderstood and yet crucially important elements of a senior's diet is the balance between processed meats and clean, unprocessed proteins. At first glance, it might seem like all meats are created equal. If it's meat, it must be protein, and protein must be good. But that assumption overlooks something essential: the quality of the meat, its level of processing, and how it interacts with an aging body, especially when consumed regularly. Processed meats like sausages, hot dogs, deli cold cuts, bacon, and even some canned meats are often convenient and familiar. They taste good, they're quick to prepare, and for many seniors who grew up eating them, they can feel comforting. But behind that familiarity is a reality backed by research. Processed meats are typically high in sodium, preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, and unhealthy fats, all of which can quietly chip away at the body's internal stability over time. Sodium is one of the biggest concerns. As we age, the kidneys become less efficient at filtering excess sodium out of the bloodstream. This can lead to fluid retention, swelling in the legs and ankles, and increased blood pressure. Over time, high sodium intake stresses the heart and increases the risk of stroke, heart failure, and kidney disease. Processed meats are often loaded with sodium, sometimes several hundred milligrams per serving, and the problem isn't just that one slice of ham is salty, it's that these products become part of a routine diet, creating a steady trickle of excess salt that accumulates and burdens the body. The chemical preservatives used in processed meats also carry risks. Nitrites and nitrates help preserve color and flavor, but when exposed to heat or stomach acid, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, which are associated with an increased risk of certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer. While occasional consumption isn't likely to cause immediate harm, repeated, long-term exposure does matter, particularly when other risk factors like age, low fiber intake, and decreased digestive efficiency are present. Another point to consider is the fat composition in processed meats. These meats often contain higher levels of saturated fat, which can raise LDL cholesterol and contribute to arterial plaque buildup. While the conversation around saturated fat has evolved over the years, it remains true that older adults with existing cardiovascular concerns benefit from reducing sources of saturated fat, especially when those fats come from low-quality, highly processed sources. All of these concerns matter even more in later life. When systems don't bounce back as easily, seniors are more sensitive to shifts in blood pressure, blood sugar, inflammation, and gut health. Processed meats often tip the balance in the wrong direction, subtly increasing inflammation and reducing nutrient efficiency in the body. Even if symptoms aren't immediately noticeable, fatigue, digestive discomfort, or achy joints may be signs of foods working against rather than for the body. This doesn't mean seniors must give up meat entirely. In fact, the focus should shift toward replacing low-quality meats with cleaner, nutrient-dense alternatives. Think skinless chicken breast, lean turkey, wild-caught fish, or even plant-based options like lentils and tofu when appropriate. These options offer protein without the additives and excessive salt. They're more supportive of muscle maintenance, joint health, heart stability, and overall energy levels, key areas that require consistent nutritional support after 60. It's not about fear or guilt, it's about clarity. Making a simple swap a few days a week, choosing grilled chicken over deli ham, or baking fish instead of microwaving a sausage can bring about a steady cumulative improvement in how the body feels, moves, and recovers. The benefits are not just biological, they are deeply personal. Feeling less bloated, waking up without joint stiffness, having more stable energy in the afternoon. These are the quiet victories that come from giving the body what it actually needs, instead of what's just convenient or familiar. There's also an emotional shift that can happen when someone stops relying on processed foods. The act of choosing whole, nourishing meals, even simple ones, can restore a sense of control and dignity that's easy to lose when routines become automatic. This kind of mindful eating doesn't require fancy recipes or expensive ingredients. It just takes one decision at a time, made with purpose. Now that we've laid the case for avoiding processed meats and embracing cleaner options, there's one final area of senior nutrition that often flies under the radar but has an outsized impact on mobility, brain clarity, and long-term independence. Let's turn the page and explore that next.